Welcome to my new viewers. To my subscribers, welcome back. My name is Mike. This is my channel where I look at, review, and try different craps strategies. Thanks for joining. Okay, this is another laddering system that I kind of watched a little bit. Actually, several YouTubers do this strategy, so I really don't know who to give credit to, but I'm going to go ahead and run this out and try to explain it as best I can. I'm also going to try to track the 7 units per shooter so that I don't get confused, because it's going to be hard to do with a simulator, the CRAPS simulator. But anyway, this is a laddering system that ladders the bets that you place in the come area. Again, the come is just like the pass line, but the come is after the point's established. Really, there's 3 basic rules, and I have those highlighted. The first rule is you want to set a limit of 7 units per shooter. Now, a unit can be defined by you, whether it's $5, $10, $15, or $25. Just for the sake of this illustration here, I'm going to use a green chip or a $25. So you set a limit to 7 units per shooter. You try to keep 3 come bets in play all the time. You may not be able to, and I'll show you why during the simulation. Okay? And then the third rule, basic rule, is you try not to place a bet in the come that's more than 5 units. I don't know why they do that, but if you've got the bankroll, I think you would always want to try to have 3 come bets in play, but they're saying you only want to use the 7 units per shooter. So if you've got some units that are in play on the table and you need to make another come bet and you don't have enough units left to make the appropriate come bet, you should just wait. And when I say the appropriate come bet, that's where the laddering comes into play. So basically what you're doing is you're putting 1 unit in play after the point is established. So you've got 1 unit in play, it's on the come. If you roll a number, let's say you roll a 6, that come bet will move to the 6. So you now have 1 unit in play. I will move 1 chip over to the unit in play side, just to show that we've got 1 unit in play. Then your next come bet is equal to the number of units that you have in play plus 1. So in this case, it would be 2 units because you have 1 unit in play. That's why I have 2 green chips over here ready. I would put 2 units in play on the next come bet. If that come bet goes to a number, let's say the number is of 10, then you now have 3 units in play. I would move these 2 units over to the units in play to show those in play. You have 3 units in play. Your next come bet would be 4 units, or the number of units in play plus 1. And that's 4. And all your chips for that shooter are now in play. And then you just maintain 3 come bets at all times. So if a number hits and your come bet comes down and gets paid, you put those chips back over in the units for the shooter that you can then use for your next bet. What happens is you may not have enough units over in your rack available for betting that equals the number of units in play plus 1. So why they want to limit to 7? I say if you got the bankroll, continue keeping 3 come bets in play, but we're going to roll it out the way the strategy says, and we'll see how it works. And you'll have to excuse this crude way of tracking, but this is the best I can think of for now. I may come up with a better reason or another way. But we're going to start by letting a point get established. So I'm going to go ahead and roll, and there is a 9. So the point is a 9. We're going to put 1 unit in the come. So I've got 1 unit in play. I'll come over here and I will move 1 unit in play. Okay? I know that's crude, but that's how I'm going to keep track of it. Okay? I've got 1 unit play. I've got 6 units for betting. Okay? So I'm going to roll. There's a 2. We lose the come bet on the 2, 3, and 12, just like on the pass line, and we win on 7 and 11. So now we don't have any units in play. We're going to go with 1 unit. So over here, I'm going to move 1 unit over. Okay, so the unit that we lost, I'll just move him up out of the way so you don't see him. Okay, so we have 1 unit in play, but we only have 5 units for betting. So let's go ahead and roll. See if that come bet can get moved. Okay, there's the 9. That's the point. So the puck moves off. Our come bet moves to the 9. I have 1 unit in play. I can't make a come bet without the puck being on a number, so I have to wait for a number. Okay, there's an 8. Now I want to put the number of units plus 1, which would be 2 units, in the come. So I will take 2 units, move them over. See how crazy this is? Okay. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is I have 3 units in play. Let's roll a number. Let's see if we can get this come bet to move to a number. Okay, it moves to the 8, and the puck goes off. That was the point. So now I have 3 units in play. If I establish a point, my next come bet should be 4 units, 3 plus 1. I only have 3 units left for the shooter. So the strategy says I would have to wait until an 8 or a 9 was rolled and get paid to get more chips in my rack that I could then bet. That's the part I'm not sure I really agree with, but we'll play it that way. So let's go ahead and roll and get a point. Okay, there's an 8. So that $50 on the 8 came down and got paid. So it puts 2 units back in my rack for my betting. So I will just do a copy and a paste, and I will put 2 units back in my rack. This is the part that's kind of crazy. Okay, so now I need to put total number of units in play, which is 1, because these guys got paid. I should have moved these guys over, but that's okay. I'll just move these up out of the way. I've got 1 unit in play. I need to put 2 units in the come bet. Okay, so I'm going to move 2 units over because they're now in the come bet. It's a 6, so that $50 come goes to the 6. I've got 3 units in play, right? But I've only got 3 units left for the shooter. So I don't have 4 units to bet into the come. And the reason that you bet the number of units in play plus 1 is to protect the 7. If the 7 would hit, let's say I had 4 units and I put 4 units in play, okay? Let's say I put 4 units in play. Let's say a 7 hit. I would lose the 75, but I would win 100. So the 7 out would always give me a positive 1 unit win. Okay? But since I don't have 4 units available for this shooter, I have to wait. I have to wait for a 6 or 9 to be hit so that I would get paid, and then I should then have enough units in my rack. This could be my rack down here to pay for the next come bet. So hope this is all making sense. So we're going to go ahead and just wait for a 6 or 9 to hit. Okay, there's a 4. There's a yo 11, no help. Another 4, looking for a 6 or a 9. Another 11. There's a 6. Okay, so that $50 comes down and gets paid. So now I have $50 that, or 2 units that I can move back into my rack. So I can move these guys back over. And I think I add another, don't I add it? The 50 comes down, plus I got paid 50. So I should be able to get 2 more units down here, I believe. Okay. So I have 1 unit in play. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units available for betting. And I should put 2 units in the come bet. So I'm going to put 2 units in the come. So I'll move 2 units over. And we'll roll. There's a 4. That come bet moves to the 4. So now I have 3 units in play, and I need to put 4 units in the come bet. Okay. So that only leaves me 1 unit in my rack. That's not very straight, but that's all right. All right, so let's go ahead and roll. There's a 4. So I win the $50. The 50 comes down and gets paid. So I win 50, and my 100 on the come goes up to the 4. So now I have 5 units in play. These guys come back over, plus I won 50, right? So I should have 2 more in here. Okay. So I'm still on shooter 1. I've got 5 units in play. So this is correct. I got 5 units in play. I'm still have a 0.8, so I should have 6 units in the come. I only have 5 available. If I did this right, I should only have 5 available. So if I can't put at least 6 in, I'm not protecting the 7 out. Plus, the third rule says try not to make a come bet for more than 5 units. So I would not want to go above 5 here anyway, but I don't have 6. So I'm going to roll. I'm going to try to hit a 4 or a 9 and get paid. There's a 9. It gets paid 25. So 25 comes off of the unit in play over to the shooters, and then I won 25, so I should be able to stick another one there. Okay, so I have 4 units in play, which is what I'm showing, and I should put 5 in the come, and that should be my max. So I'm going to put 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's try it this way. Let's move them over. Okay, I only have 2 units in my rack, so if this gets moved up to a point or to a number, I don't have enough in my rack to do a units in play plus 1 bet in the come. So let's see. First things first. A 7 would not hurt us. I would win 1 unit. An 11 would not hurt us. If I roll a 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, this will move to that number. Let's go ahead and roll. It's a 9. So that goes to the 9. So now I have 10 units, 5, 9, I have 9 units in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 units in play. 125 plus 100. It's 225. I don't have 10 units to put in the come. I should not exceed 5 anyway. So I will just roll and try to hit a 4 or a 9. There's an 11. There's an 8. That's the point. Putt goes off. I need to establish a point. There's a 9. So I hit the 9 on the come out. So that paid 125. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units get moved over, and then I would have won 5 units. Right? So there's another 5. I'll put those up here. You may not be able to see them, but I've got this many units now available for betting. And I have 4 units in play. I don't want to go above 5, but I can go to 5. So let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and take those 5 that I just moved up here, and let's just move them over to here. Yeah, we'll move them over there. Okay. And let's roll. See if we can get this to a number. There's a 12. We lost 125. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to just move these Move these up out of the way. I lost those. Okay, so now I've got 4 units in play, right? I've got $100 on the 4 units in play. I still have enough, I can go 5, so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and move these 5 here over. They're in play now. And let's roll. It's a 6, so that's going to move to the 6. I definitely don't have enough in my rack to cover number of units plus 1. So I'm going to have to roll. There's a 12. There's a 9. That was the point. Putt goes off. We now need to establish a point. These are still in play. There's a 6. So we won 125. Okay, that was 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comes back to my rack. Plus I win 5. I'll just move these guys down. They're in my rack. And I should have 4 units in play according to my chips down here. And I do. I have 4 units here. I will go ahead and put 5 units in the com, which will just be these guys here moving over. And I will roll. There's an 8. That's going to move to the 8. Okay. Let's take a real quick look at where we're at. We're at a positive 275. The distribution, we haven't rolled a 7, a 10, a 5, or a 3 yet. But let's go ahead and continue this roll. There's the 8 again. That's a 125 win. So we're going to basically win 125. So these are going to come over. I'll put them over here. I'll just put them right on top of that. And then I'm going to take those 5 and they're going to go in play because I'm going to put them right back in play right here on the com. Right? So now I have 5 and 4 is 9. Here's 9 units in play, and I've got this many chips I can use for betting. So let's go ahead and roll. Okay, there's a 9. It moves to the 9. Now, I've got 9 in play. Do I have 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 chips in my rack. I could put them in the com, but I would be violating that third rule. Try not to place a com bet of more than 5. So this is where you've got to make that decision. Am I going to put 10 out here? I've got them. I've got them available. I can say 4, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 250. I've got 225 in betting in bets already, so I've covered it by 1 unit. If a 7 comes out, I've protected my 7 out. So I could say, I knew I was going to miss one. So there's 9. Let's grab this guy. So I've got 10 units in play, but I've only got 2 units left for the shooter. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. See how it works. Since I had the chips in my rack per my win, I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. I'm going to go ahead and roll it. Let's go. Okay, there's a 6. So that 250 goes right to the 6. The putt goes off. I definitely don't have enough to cover another bet, but I've got 3 bets. I've got 3 come bets, which is one of my rules. I want 3 come bets. So let's try to establish a point. But the 4, the 6, and the 9 will get paid if we hit. The only thing that would hurt us now is a 7 because we don't have anything in the come protecting the 7. What did I just say? We don't have anything in the come protecting the 7. Anyway, that's 29 rolls. We had a really good profit until we hit the 7 out. Maybe we shouldn't have taken all of our chips out of the rack and put that last bet of 10. Who knows? I hope that explains the laddering system using the come bets. If there's a variation that you know of, put it in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'll go ahead and post this. Hopefully it was easy to understand without all of this little visual down here at the bottom, but it was the best way I could think of to show how many units I still had available for that shooter. Now, that was all shooter 1, okay? So really shooter 2 is next. You would take all of these 2 chips that you had left, just put those back in your rack and put another 7 units out for the next shooter. All of these guys went away on the 7 out, so you lost those. So you would have to put another 7 units out in front of you. So if you went to the casino with $1,000 in chips, put those in the first row of the rack, and then put 7 of your units in the next row and say, these are the 7 units I'm using for this shooter. And then once that shooter's done, if you have chips left over, put those back in your rack, and then take another 7 out for the next shooter. Okay? Anyway, that'll be our video for today. Hope everyone's having a good day. It's Friday, so have a good weekend, and we'll be talking next week. Thanks for watching.